So, where would you say you get most of your motivation from? What keeps you going?
It's really just the passion I have for this music. What's really good?
Hennessy and Pellegrino. That's what's
Hennessy and San Pellegrino. It's the weirdest mix ever.
If you were to combine the words Hennessy and Pellegrino. Pellegrino.
Pellegrino.
Pellegrino.
I'm smoking that Pellegrino.
That Pellegrino. Making you look like a Filipino.
With a hella mean flow.
While eating a bag of Tostito.
Repping for my people.
Eating the burrito.
Eating the burrito.
Alright guys, so Bombagranate here. We got the big homie Armen.
Yeah.
Armen's in the building. Or we're in your
He's
building.
here and he's looking mean.
Yeah.
Armen. Do people think you're like
Yes.
ridiculously threatening?
Yes.
Because you got the whole mean
Yes.
in your name.
On a serious note though, Armen, who are you? Where do you come from? How did you start? People, I mean, we don't know. We just want to know who are you? How did you start? Where do you come from? What car do you drive? What shoe size you wear?
So size 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was born in Glendale, but I was actually raised in Amsterdam. I was less than a year old when my parents moved to Amsterdam. Actually, the Netherlands, but I usually say Amsterdam because most people, when I say Netherlands, they look at me weird, like they don't know what that is.
Dude, when you say
them,
Netherlands, the first thing that comes to my mind is either beschouwd, which is like
my man, yeah,
like the Netherlands
like
beschouwd.
a biscuit type of.
The beschouwd.
Oh, the stroopwafel.
It sounds very threatening.
Dude, the stroopwafel is the best.
Rap battle.
I don't know what to say right now.
Rap battle.
No, we're gonna cut that part out, obviously. Hey man, so we're talking about Open Wounds, the movement. Obviously, we're huge supporters. It's a great cause. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about it? Like, how did it start? Where did the influence come from? What?
Yeah, definitely, man. So Open Wounds, basically, I wrote this song years ago. Put it out there, and it was kind of like my introduction to the Armenian community. It was received very well, but I always felt it didn't reach like its real potential that it could. You know what I mean? So a couple of years ago, we kind of re-released the song with a brand new music video because we didn't, at this point now we have more resources and stuff like that to do a proper video, proper marketing behind it. So we did a new video, and then I had this idea to do these t-shirts along with it, like with the release of the song, the video, everything. And really it's a lyric from the song, Our Wounds Are Still Open. But it also perfectly describes like how we feel as a people, you know what I mean, about this. So I'm like, yo, let's make a t-shirt, Our Wounds Are Still Open, 1915. But the whole goal was to make something dope, something that people would want to wear like throughout the year. It's not like a shirt you just wear on April 24th to go
No,
march.
you can definitely see the impact it's had, definitely in our generation, because we've always dealt with the only Armenian genocide t-shirts I've really known were the ones we get passed out to go to an Armenian private school or anything like that.
Right.
This just,
So it was something new, you know what I mean?
It was.
And exactly like you said, we try to reach the youth and try to reach non-Armenians, because through hip-hop you can kind of, obviously the young kids listen to you more, you know what I mean?
Music, universal
just music
language,
in general, absolutely.
So when did you find yourself completely devoted to music? Like, when did you say, wow, this is definitely my passion and I want to pursue this to the fullest? I'm not going to let anything get in the way, and this is who I am, this is who I'm going to be.
I mean, it was kind of a gradual process, you know what I mean? Like, it starts as a hobby and you start taking it more and more serious, and then it's starting to get into a point like, yo, I can really do this is really what I want to do, you know what I mean? So I don't know exactly when, but I've been doing it for about 10 years now, but I've been doing it about 10 years, but the last few years is like really serious, and like, I've been able to really build my team where we really move in like the right way.
We're like superstars. I mean, have you heard Josh Godia before?
Yes.
Like, yeah, you
That's my
obviously
shit.
have, of course. And we're not just like the game that we just come into the studio and oh, by the way, hold on. Let's talk about the game real quick.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, we want to hear your whole backstory.
Because he's been trying to get on one of our records forever. We'd be like, you know what, Josh,
Yeah,
you
it
blow
is.
up.
That's just not.
I felt like, you know, he kept asking me and I'm like, dog, just jump on it, bro.
Alright.
That's how that happened.
That was cool.
No, not really. Game actually reached out to me years ago when I had kind of just started, and he happened to live in Glendale. I think a lot of Armenians know that.
Yeah,
He
I used
recently
to
moved out.
see him at the
Right.
Americana like all the time.
Really, yeah. So somehow he got hold of my CD back then, and he hit me up. And we went to the studio, whatever. Nothing really came out of that specifically, but we always kept in touch, you know. And he always supported what I was doing. He always told me how like talented and skilled I am or whatever. And then once I had that song Lost Angels, you know, I came out with the song. And I was like, yo, this would just be perfect for Game. So when I approached him, he jumped on it. And ever since then, he's been even more supportive, you know. And of course, with the Open Wounds movement, 2 years ago when we started, the very first year, you know, we just gave him a shirt. And, you know, he wore it and posted it. You know, he has like 2.5 million followers, so it's really big, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did it again last year, and hopefully he'll do it again this year. So shout out to Game, man. He's always been supportive.
It's taken part in my phrases, I'm blatant, but all these nations are shaking the arms of Satan for the sake of army bases. We praying to God and make him admit it. We still hoping, but they still won't, and that's why these wounds are still open.
Sucuk or bastırma?
Sucuk.
Tabule fatush.
Salat Shirazi.
Börek or sümürek?
Börek.
Lahmacun or meneş.
Lahmacun.
Tan or chicken tarma?
Tom.
Can we be on the cipher?
No.
Please.
No.
Please.
No.
Please.
No.
Please.
You can submit.